Hey guys, how's it going? I just want to talk about the undefeated teams we have still, whether they are really contenders or really pretenders. We got a lot of undefeated teams, 6 of them I think to be exact. Some of them are playing each other and won't be undefeated for long. But let's just go ahead and talk about them. Start off with the Chiefs. Chiefs are a team that can make the Super Bowl this year, can win the Super Bowl this year. They have actually a lot of weapons around Patrick Mahomes. It's being talked down, because they don't have Tyreek Hill. But he has Juju Smith-Schuster. He has Edwards-Helaire. He has Travis Kelce. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Yeah. So that's enough for Patrick Mahomes to work. That is definitely enough. Is the offensive line going to be able to hold up throughout the season as it goes on? There's only one way to see. We have to see. It hasn't really stayed healthy every year, I don't think. But this year it's got to, and keep Patrick safe. Also, defense has played better. It had a decent showing in the first week and had an okay one last week. Honestly, Justin Herbert just threw some dimes. But overall, this is a team that I think is a real contender. They can make it to the Super Bowl. They can win the Super Bowl. It's just a matter of will the cards fall their way. And Patrick Mahomes is going to have his best year, I believe, this year. He is on his way, I think, to have his best. If you watch my previous videos, I said I think he might win MVP this year. I said he was going to have his best year. I don't know. He just seems like he's playing angry. There's a different edge to him, and so far he's playing well. And I think the Chiefs are going to benefit from it this year and might even win it all. So that's what I think. I think they're actually real contenders for the Chiefs. Go Chiefs! All right, I'm not a Chiefs fan, by the way. Bills are a good team. That's not news for you guys, though. You hear it talked about on NFL Network. You hear it talked about on Colin Cowherd. You hear it talked about Skip and Shannon. Everywhere. We know the Bills are a good team. Their defense is looking scary. Now, granted, they haven't faced a great offensive line yet. I mean, the Rams' offensive line is okay. Titans' offensive line is Taylor Lewan, I think, got hurt in that game. But I want to see them go up against that's this thing. I want to say I want to say that I want to see them go up against a good offense, but honestly, the Rams are a good offense, and they took care of business that game. But it was also the first game, so it does count. But I don't want to read too much into that one. I want to see them against a good offense again later midway season. Also, watch out for injury with this team. But this is a team I don't think it's any surprise is a contender. This is not fake. The only problem with this team is their division with the Dolphins. Can they get more wins than the Dolphins? I'm going to talk about them next. And they play them this week. They're both 2-0. But the Bills, real contenders. I don't think it's any surprise. Josh Allen is having a fantastic year. Incredible year. His receivers are playing pretty well. Gabriel Davis get healthy, because if he's there, and Stephon Diggs and Dawson Knox, if those guys are all healthy, and then you have James Cook as well in the backfield along with Singletary and Zach Moss. So that is such a good team. Overall, offense, defense, such a good team. But it just seems like they're that team that can never... It was almost like the Romo Cowboy years, where it's like that team that every year looks like they might be it this year, and they can't get over the hump. They can't get over the hump. Almost like the Alex Smith Chiefs. They can't get over the hump. And that's what I think it might be with the Bills. There's no reason to think they can't get over the hump. They have good at every position. It's just one of those things where maybe it comes down to another AFC Championship game, them and the Chiefs win. It might get down to that, because that's a team I think they would struggle against. But, yeah, they're real contenders. They could win the Super Bowl this year. They really could. Right now, they're a lot of people's favorites. But that's it for the Bills. Who they're playing this week? The Dolphins. Dolphins are 2-0. Kind of a surprise. Not as much of a surprise as another team on this list, if you ask my opinion. But the Dolphins, I like Tua coming out of college. I thought his arm was better than it actually was, though. So that's something that I was a little wrong about. But I see him as a facilitator. And you know what? That's what they're using him for. He had to throw a lot of touchdowns this past game. He had like 6. Yeah, 6. But a lot of them were open to wide open receivers. There was like 2 that were absolute dots on the guy, only where his receiver can get it. And props to him for that. But overall, he just needs to be a facilitator. Get it to Gaskin. Get it to Waddle. Get it to Tyreek Hill. Get it to Gesicki. Let them take it the distance. Let them do it. Get it to your playmakers, like a West Coast offense. You don't have to do too much. The the Jameis Winston quote, sometimes you don't gotta be Batman, you can be Bruce Wayne. That's all I'm asking for Tua to be Bruce Wayne. The defense needs to play better, though. They allowed way too much to the Ravens. Like, they came out of week one, people were like, this is going to be a top 5 defense. And then they played against the Ravens. They let Lamar Jackson have his way. They can't be doing that every week. So I'm going with that. The Dolphins, I don't think that they're going to go far in the playoffs. I think they'll definitely make the playoffs with the Dolphins. Make the playoffs. I don't think that they're really a contender, though. Are they in the position to say pretender? I just think that they're too young. It's weird. I don't think they're pretending. I think they're a good team. I just think they're good enough. If we're talking up against contender, sure, he's not a contender. So I guess we'll go pretender. Pretender with the Dolphins. Even though they are a good team, they do have a bright future as long as Tua continues to develop. But right now, I don't see them as like a Super Bowl contender. So next, we got the Eagles. Eagles are also, if you watch my other videos, it's my last one. One of my last ones was I was wrong about Jalen Hurts because this Eagles team, I said, has talent all over the roster. Defense, I can go through every position. Defense, they got talent. They've got quality starters at every position. On offense, I can go through every position. They have a quality starter there. There's not really a big hole on this team, except for one. It was a big question mark, and that was quarterback. Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts played Monday Night Football against the Vikings, and a game where I thought the Vikings would win and would actually kind of do a reality check for Jalen Hurts, and it didn't happen. Jalen Hurts dominated. He had a lot of great throws. A lot of them were floating passes. I don't know if that was by design or what. A lot of people are questioning his arm talent. I think it's good enough. We'll have to see if he continues this progression. But so far, it looked like he was going through his reads. He was making tough throws. He was dynamic, a playmaker, and overall played pretty well. My only question is he going to be consistent? This is his first year where he's actually been good right off the bat. Like, past years, he was kind of like, okay, and you didn't really know for sure. This is the first year. If he plays this whole year like this, the Eagles could be a real contender. The Eagles are a contender if Jalen Hurts plays like this every game. But I don't know if he will. I don't think so. My light died. But I'm going to say that the Eagles, I like Jalen Hurts. I like the Eagles roster. But I'm going to go with their contender, not contender, a pretender right now. Because I just think he's too young. I think the whole team is too young right now. We have no idea that they're actually capable of season long. I feel like as the season goes on, we'll see Jalen Hurts kind of regress a little. That's not a knock on his future potential. Next year, he could come back even better. But I'm saying this because I think he's too young right now. I can't see them going to the Super Bowl with him at quarterback in his only second year fully starting. That being said, it's possible. So are they pretenders? I'd say they're more contenders than the Dolphins. They're not nearly the contenders that the Chiefs and the Bills are, in my opinion, just because of their established quarterbacks. But I think that this team, that defense played really well against the Vikings. You know what? Screw it. They're a contender. Eagles are a contender. Buccaneers, I think this is a quick one. The Buccaneers are a contender. They have the GOAT, Tom Brady. Here's my only thing with the Buccaneers. Every time that they are short a receiver, it seems like the offense starts to stutter. When they lost Antonio Brown last year, the offense was not the same because they didn't have Chris Godwin. They were relying on Mike Evans and Tyler Johnson, and that wasn't a recipe for success. Right now, Chris Godwin's hurt again. Mike Evans is suspended. I have no idea what receiver he's going to be throwing the ball to, but he's going to need him. Is it Russell Gage? Is that who we have? They need more receivers, point blank. Honestly, they need Julio Jones to get back healthy. Like, come on. I feel like if there's anybody that can unlock Julio Jones, it's Tom Brady, and I think he was about to, and then Julio got hurt. Get back Julio, and when he does, that team is a Super Bowl contender for sure. When there are receivers, that team is a Super Bowl contender. Offensive line might be a problem throughout the season, but Tom Brady's always had a way of navigating that, so he'll be fine. Running back Leonard Fournette is playing well after all the talk about the weight he gained in the offseason. And defense is really good. Todd Bowles has taken that defense over, made it his own, and it is fan-freaking-tastic right now. So props to the defense, and as long as they have receivers, the offense should be fine. So I'm gonna say the Buccaneers are contenders. This is a team. This is a team I wish I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about. We got the New York Giants. Now listen, I like Brian Dable. I love Saquon Barkley. I like Darius Toney, Sterling Shepard. A lot of players on that team. I love Kayvon Thibodeau. He was my number one player this draft. Evan Neal is a solid player too. I loved Andrew Thomas. He was my number one player a couple years ago when he got drafted. They have Aziz Ojulari. None of those Kayvon and Aziz haven't really played yet, but I loved Ojulari coming out of college. This team has a lot of talent. A ton of talent. And now they have a head coach that can lead that talent. I don't think they have the quarterback. Daniel Jones throughout these few games has been an efficient pedestrian. If that's a right term. An efficient pedestrian. He's been a game manager type. And he's got so much talent around him. I think he's got to do better. If you want to stay a quarterback long term, you got to do better. I think everyone knows I'm going to say they're a pretender. They're not really a contender. If the Giants make the playoffs, like, hot dog, that's great. Brian Dable should be coach of the year. But they're not going to, they're like a one and done playoff team. They're not much. They're a pretender. But, you know what? Props to them for what they've done so far. And their future looks bright. If you get that quarterback position filled up, like, what kind of free agent or trade could they get quarterback-wise? Would anybody be available? I don't know. That's something to look into. But they need to get a quarterback for next season because Daniel Jones isn't it, in my opinion. But they have so much talent on offense and defense that you can't let it go to waste. Like, come on. But I don't think they will. Brian Dable is doing very well his first year, so props to him. Props to the Giants, but you guys are a pretender. So that's my undefeated teams and who I think are contenders versus pretenders. I said the Eagles and Buccaneers were contenders, and I said the Chiefs and Bills were contenders. But unfortunately, the Dolphins and the Giants were pretenders. Yeah. Sorry, guys. But hey, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. So, appreciate it.